What's up, you beautiful humans, and welcome back to episode 11 of the It's All Bullshit podcast. And I have a special treat for you guys today. So, I just led this morning a masterclass called Unhinged. And this goes in alignment with all the things that I talk about in the space of this podcast and how I do the world and how I lead in the world and all the things. And I felt called to share it here with you. So, what I did was I just cut off kind of like the back end and the front end of the whole masterclass training. And I did it live on Facebook. So some of you will see me, like you'll hear me communicating with some of the people. But this is a powerful episode for you guys to lean into. Now, a couple things to note is that this was recorded in June of 2026. So depending on when you listen to this episode, if you are interested in the mastermind that I sort of talked about, the landing page will be in the description notes and you guys can go and see it. After June the 13th of 2026, all of those details are relevant. And until that time, it's remaining a mystery in the space of it all until everyone that it was in the masterclass live says yes to things. But if the link is here, it's active, go ahead. Go take a look, see if it's for you in the space of everything. But I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an intro before you dove into this because it's a little bit different than the normal podcasting that I do. But I wanted to do some different shit this week, apparently. The last episode was a guest one. And now we're doing this one. Who knows what next week's going to bring? So I love you guys, and I'm so grateful I get to share this on this platform and that you're here to listen. So go enjoy the process. And I will see you again in the next episode. Bye for now, everyone. Everybody's popping on into the space. I am like so fucking fired up to teach this. And there's some of you guys that have never been in my energy field before, that are brand new to my world, have never seen me teach anything, have only been maybe following me on like threads or different connection points in the space of that. So welcome to my energy. I'm going to give a brief introduction just to get us into the palette of everything. Melissa, welcome. Teresa, what's up? Because this is going to be a really, really powerful session today of remembrance, of connection. I'm going to tell stories. I'm going to lead you into experiences, let's just say, not in a way of like clearing energies and stuff like that, that some of you guys have been a part of my world where I do a lot of clearing work, activation work, but more so your remembrance and bringing this forward in the landscape of your life. How do you take this information, dissect it today, and move it into your world? How do you maneuver this into how you're showing up in the world, how you're leading in your businesses, how you're leading with money in the space of this evolution? Rachel, what's going on? And so I need to tell you a preface story before we kind of get started in the space of how this has transitioned in my world, how this came to life, and so for some of you guys that don't know a lot of my story, I've been an entrepreneur for 17 years this year. The last 6 years have been really focused in, well, 2021 was a little bit of a shaky year where I was rebelling against the spiritual world, my guides, my higher self, and all the things. And I was like, I'm not doing this work, or I will sort of do this work kind of thing. But let's just give it context. Pretty much for the last 6 years, I've been doing a lot of soul mission activation work and strategic alignment work and all the clearing shadow work dynamics that some of you know me well for. And some of you are brand new into this space of my world. And the whole story of today's masterclass that you can glean from and take parts of, like this whole thing might be like fucking smacking you across the face and it's going to land. For some of you, you're going to be like, that's my piece and that's what I need. And my job today is to step fully in to my power and to be here unhinged for you to take what you can from this space and go out and run. Right. So I'm going to teach you some mechanisms. We're going to dive into some storylines. You're going to fucking laugh your fucking asses off at me because I'm going to be laughing my asses off at me. My asses off. Two asses, apparently, off in the space of just like this. And we're going to have a conversation today. Peeking in, peeking out. You guys, some of you guys are at work. Some of you guys are driving. Some of you guys are doing your things. You will get access to this replay. So this is going to be in your world and you can revisit this any single time you desire to lean into this conversation. Because the messaging behind an unhinged person, an unhinged brand, isn't the crazy person out there fucking around in humanity. That's not what this is. Unhinged means you have completely broken free from the mechanisms conforming you in your world, whether that's thought processes, relationships, belief systems, limitations from the third dimensional mechanisms that are keeping you conformed. One of you that's actually in here right now, I remember this conversation so clearly that we had, I don't even know, 3, 4 years ago. I don't even remember the timeline of it all. But when you had said to me that your business coach said that you have to do business just like this. And remember, and I'm sure you're going to remember this moment because this was like a pivotal moment in my world where I was like, fuck that shit, And it's like part of leading a life of being unhinged is recognizing your own intuition, your own pathway, and fucking owning that shit and moving through it, especially when people are not in alignment with you, especially when people are just going, you can never make that happen. That's never going to happen. Logically, that will never happen. That's going to take you years. The unhinged movement that I want to bring forth in your world is fuck everyone else's timelines. Your job is to step freaking behind your leadership, your desires, the life you want, and fucking nail it out into the world. And that's going to create ripple effects. So when we talk about unhinged in the energetic field, unleashed, uninhibited, you know, uncomfortable. I even wrote this on my email yesterday that I sent out just as like a last call kind of into the space because it's not easy living a life in your power. Okay, it's been set up in the world mechanisms to keep us limited in this conformity. As you can tell, I'm 5 minutes fucking in and I'm already like lit up and on fire. So this is what I want to bring to life for us today. This is the conversations I want to have with you today. And I am highly encouraging you in the chat, whether you're watching the replay or you're here live, to converse with me. Okay. I won't be in it all the time. My phone is right here. I cannot see comments coming through my screen as I'm delivering my channeled information. But I want you to go in and I will periodically jump into the chat. If you have questions about something I'm saying to you, throw it down. Like, this is your experience. This is for you. If some of you are watching the replay and you're seeing it on YouTube, or you're listening to this because this is going to turn into a podcast episode and you're listening to this on the podcast, send me a DM. You have something you want to say about this? Like, let's fucking chat about it. The thing I really want you to understand is the second you start to live this embodied in you, everything is going to change in your life. Your business, how you show up in the world. Wow, my body went into goosebumps. How you maneuver in the space of every single one of us has this beautiful ignited power within us. And now it's not so warrior type for a lot of us. However, for a lot of us, it is, especially those of you guys in my world. You are trailblazers in certain aspects of your world. You are being called up and into certain spaces of impact in the world. You are being asked to step up in communities, in your offerings, in your business structures, in your careers, in your relationships, in your life, and how you show up in your communities to lead. There is a part of you that is a leader activated in you. And every single one of you is going to be different in this landscape because all of us are different in the space of this evolution. All of us are in this landscape of our own blueprints, our own mechanisms, our own puzzle pieces. And sometimes our puzzle pieces come together and we co-create with others to make bigger puzzle pieces, to make bigger, massive moves. But most of the time, we're running in our own mechanism that doesn't make sense to most of the people in our world. You come to me, and it's really funny. Brian and I, he sent me a message the other day, and he's like, you're never going to believe this. And I'm like, I fucking believe all of it. I believe it all, right? There is nothing that phases my evolution any longer in the space of what can happen for people in the world when they are attuned, aligned, and activated as fuck. Everything comes through. I'm like, of course, of course. Yesterday, one of my soul sisters sends me this message. She's a beautiful soul in Australia. We've done some work together cohesively. So there was moments in time where she needed support, moments in time where I've needed support, and we have this beautiful exchange in our world. And yesterday she sends me a message. She's like, of course. It's like 3 a.m. right now at her time. I'm journaling, and all I keep hearing is, of course, this haunting energy of you fucking in my head because everything in my life just drastically shifted for the better. And we had done some clearing work a couple of weeks ago on this, and I had her drop into this alignment and activate the fuck out of some things in her world. And of course, it's happening. Of course, it's coming about. Of course, it is. Because when we step into our power and we lock this down in this vast illuminated space, of course, the things we desire happen. The challenge we have as humans is that most of us have been diminished. We've been put into boxes. We've been conformed. We've made choices to stay in conformity. We've believed other people when they said we can't. We subscribed into the mechanism of all this bullshit that's happening in the world somewhere along the line because we wanted to be good people, because we wanted to people please, because we didn't want to ruffle the feathers, because we wanted to participate in life. I remember so many instances when I was young growing up in Winnipeg. Okay, if any of you guys know Winnipeg, Manitoba, it's a very special place. And I don't know if my mom's in here or not, but mom, like one day maybe you'll leave. Okay, like in the space of this evolution, she might hear this somewhere along the journey. She might even be here right now. It's hard to say what's transpiring. I didn't even know she was on my email list until like a couple months ago. I was like, oh shit, my mom's on my email list. Because one day she said to me, hey, do you always send emails like this? I was like, what emails? And yeah, that was a good time. But Winnipeg, oh, so beautiful. I chose, obviously, as a soul, to drop into my parents' lap. And knowing that they lived in this place called Winnipeg, I made a decision as a soul that I was going to go experience that. At 23 years old, when I moved out, I was like I moved to Ontario. I was like, what the fuck? As if I fucking lived there. Like, it's not just the cold as fuck, but literally, even when I fly still in, I usually go back at least once a year to visit my family. All my family still lives there. I literally have to have this brilliant fucking light beam going around the plane when we're landing because it's like we get into like this sucking vortex of fucking dark shadow energy. And so if you can imagine an illuminated being like myself growing up there, I purposely was up against shadow every day without being in awareness. And I chose to play inside of these mechanisms consistently all the time. Now, there was always times, and I remember, like I just remember key moments right now as I'm saying this to you in this landscape. I remember key moments where I'd peek out or my rebel would show up where I'd be like, this doesn't fucking make sense. But then it's almost like I get sucked back into the conformity because nobody in my world at that time, nobody, I had nobody in my world up until I was 28. So at 23, when I moved finally to Ontario, it was like I broke free almost from the chains of living under this guise. Now, some of you guys have similar stories. Some of you guys have environments you grew up in. Some of you guys have this landscape where you were in conformity. You just believed all the things that people told you. I get it. I get you. And at 28, when I met my first spiritual mentor, like true spiritual mentor that I paid for, it was like things just started to unveil, right? To release themselves into my world that I could start to actually see the truth. And the truth was that I had bought into the subscription of work hard, fucking 9 to 5 work, slug it away, like literally give everything away to other people, that I wasn't worthy enough to hold the success that I desired, like all the shit. And if you guys look at your life right now, you know the shit that you've told yourself. You know it. You know it. It's shown up for you in your world. It's shown up in like what's transpiring for some of you guys in your reality right now. A lot of you are busting out of this mechanism. And this actual masterclass is the busting out, is for you to really look at your life in this moment to be like, where am I fucking conforming in my world and playing under someone else's guise? It's playing small in someone else's world, subscribing to all the bullshit that's happening that is actually not mine. Now, this isn't a space for you to bring in shame or judgment on yourselves because every single one of us has been here. All 17 of you on here live right now watching this mechanism have been here somewhere in your lifetime. Some of you are under it right now. Some of you have moved through it and now you're in your next level. Some of you are fucking still in the drudges of trying to get this shit off of you. But the light in you, the beam of connection inside of you, this beautiful expansion is coming out now to be alive in the world. And it's scary as fuck some days. I have a client that I'm working with right now that is literally in a massive, massive shedding of energy, like a massive shedding of energy in that landscape, in the spaces of this evolution in here that's transpiring in the world. It's like she is literally moving through this embodied piece up, up, up into the space of her evolution. And all the versions of her that have taken on certain relationships, certain lifetimes of commitments inside of her, let's say decision making, her ability to move through the world are being questioned and shedded right now in the space of. And literally yesterday, I got a text message from her about a relationship, her supposedly best friend, and how she's now witnessing the actions of others in her life that she has let happen, right? She has let happen. She was the one that instigated this. She was the one that stepped up into the space to be like, I'm the martyr. I'll take this on. I want to serve and help you because at that time, that made her feel worthy. But what's transpiring in her world right now is this massive unhinging of energy, of shedding the layers of the stuff that she has conformed into and decided one day, back 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that her worth was tied to the validation of others. And the only way she would feel worthy was when other people were validating her. She has come to realize that that is not true. And it's like, this is the moment right now. A lot of you guys have been doing this work consistently in your life over the last few years. If you are like me, so think about it, 28, I just turned 45. Yes, I am 45 years old. I know. Isn't it fucking crazy? I'm like, Costa Rica, for some of you guys that don't know, I live in Costa Rica and I've been in Costa Rica now for 3.5 years. Costa Rica has literally shed this energy off of me, and it's like I'm getting younger. I'm getting younger in the energetic field in the space of this. But I started doing this work, like the real work. Like at 23, I came into personal development and started to do personal development stuff and get into books and audios and all the things. Like we didn't have podcasts then yet, but it was like you listen to CDs in your car. Okay, we still had CD players back when I was 28. So how old is that? 17 years ago. Some of you may not even have known a CD. You know, I just fucking laugh at that shit. Isn't it great? We actually had tapes too. Like I still have audio tapes of some of these fucking things I was listening to at the time because we still had tape players in some of our cars, depending on the year of your car. So fucking fun, right? And so at 28 years old, I met my first spiritual mentor and I started to do this unraveling work. And I started to look at the mechanisms of my life where I was playing into certain things. Now, I am a slow study. Okay. Let's just put it that way. Technically, I'm not, but there was something in me that resisted this. Like you put me in a classroom in a competitive space. Like when I was in grade 2, we used to do those math things. Like they used to give you a sheet and they time you for a minute to see how many you can get done. I beat everybody every fucking time. Okay. I was like so competitive in the spaces of stuff, and people would be like, we're going to win. I'd be like, fuck you, you're not. And I'd purposely step up in. So super competitive. When it came to this work, though, when I was 28, I surface leveled the work for a few years. You know, I started the business at 28. I started the spiritual journey, like true spiritual journey at 28. And I fucked around. You know, I was making this landing page for an offer the other day, and it was like, let me just be real in this bio about this. Like, this is the space that I actually led within to be like, I took the fucking slow route. Okay. I took the like, I needed to keep hitting the fucking ceiling so many times. Like, I started making $10,000 months in 2015. It took me till 2025 to bust through the ceiling to get into $30,000 months. That's 10. Now, granted, you know, some of you are like, I fucking want $10,000 months. I get that. But it's like I was a hard knock. Like there was some shit that was like stuck kind of in here. And there was a part of me that needed to be literally unleashed. And I think that there was, and if I really look into this and dive into this with you guys today, which obviously I'm doing in this moment, it's like I had this actual, we'll call it a fear because it kind of showed up there. Like it didn't show up like I was enabled or I couldn't move forward. Like I was always launching shit. I was always active. I was in the business. I was doing the things. I was moving it through. I was in it. Like there wasn't a time where I wasn't in it. But it was almost like I had subscribed to the slow moving mechanism that I would fucking slug it out, that work hard energy was still so fucking embedded in me that I couldn't get through it to get to the other side. And so I would be like, how many more things can I launch? Like there was one year inside of this landscape from 2020 to like 2026. I think it was 2022 that I taught 40 fucking master classes that year. 40. Never mind the programs and the circles and the masterminds and all the other things I had at 40. That's a whole shit ton of stuff. Right. And it's like somewhere inside of me, I believed that if I just kept fucking launching things, that I would get to where I wanted to go. And so if I look at this in the essence of this evolution, it's like there was a part of me that was scared that it would actually work. And and when I dive right down into the root of that, that was the actual real fear that I knew, and I know that this is busting right out of its boxes and mechanisms. Like my body's in, I already know my body's in, I know at the pureness of me. But Colleen version back then, it was like she was so fucking scared that it would actually work because she knew it would, that I created all this distraction so that it couldn't. Yeah, sure. I am grateful for the $10,000 months, the $15,000 months. I'm grateful for that span. But what I'm even more grateful for today is that I don't have to slug it out like I used to, that I can step up into who I am authentically and lead in this and create through this portal and become the magnet and magnetism and connection point that is necessary for those that are meant to work with me to come in. And the energy is completely changed. So when I started to really work on this within my own self, because here's the deal. We've got to be real with ourselves, okay? The most aspect of this avenue is like real with ourselves. We've got to come into this landscape to take ownership of where we are today. Okay, it's the key thing. And it's like, okay, the version of me, this is like identity work, which a lot of you guys know I fucking love talking about this. And it's like the version of me that got me to this moment right here with you, right here with you, is calibrated at a certain frequency. Okay, so she, me, you are attracting, creating, and moving through the world in this energetic frequency. Okay, that's what it is. And this frequency is getting me results. Okay, it's getting me deliverables, it's getting me results, it's showing me the things. Like you look at your bank account, you know what it is, you know how many clients you have, people in offers, you know how your job is residing in your world, you know what your salary is, you know what your life is. That is the frequency of where you are right now. Now, some of you guys have been doing some of this work, so we're backlogged a little bit, right? So let's say you've been doing this work for like a month or 2 months, we're backlogged a bit. So all the frequency you've been holding maybe isn't coming to life yet in this landscape, but it's coming, right? Because somewhere on the journey, you believe that it's going to take fucking long time. So back 10 years ago, I remember this so potently, even like 15 years ago, we can call it, healing, right? Healing work took fucking forever. That was the belief system of all of us in the space. Well, for 1 year, you need to do this. For 1 year, you need to do this. It was like, you need to say these affirmations in the mirror fucking every single day. And if you miss one day, you fucking fucked it up. It's like, there was so many belief systems that were running through the mechanism that, and some of you guys know this, some of you guys played in this world, you understand, and you might be fucking laughing at it, but it's the truth. Now, what is possible for us, if we make a decision, and I'm talking about deciding holistically, okay? Not just, I think this would be a good idea. Not like, I think I'm going to try this over here. Not like, maybe this might make sense, in the space of, I'm talking about deciding and commanding into the space, like, this is fucking happening. This is happening. And then it's rooted into the body. Like I talk a lot, and some of you guys have been in some of my trainings lately, but I've talked a lot about Excalibur energy, sword in the stone. So when we demand and then we command an energetic field, we drop the sword into the stone and nobody can fucking move it. It is unwavering power. And it's like when you lock that down and in, you're like, this is happening. And you don't let the mind fuckery happen. And you don't let the bullshit of other identities come in, and you don't let all this thing, because this is the work of the human, right? So we can demand it now, but in an hour's time from now, when you doubt that that's transpiring, you got to go fucking demand it again. And then you've got to go re-lock it down into the energetic field. But when you have this locked right the fuck in, and you are unwaveringly knowing that this is happening today, this is happening this week, this is the mechanism, and every moment you're moving through the world in demand, it doesn't matter about the timelines, about any of the things that anyone else has ever said, it will happen. And I have watched this happen with my people so much, especially I get messages every single day. Like, I'm not talking about once a week someone sends me a message. My clients, whether they're in my incubator, my masterminds. They're watching some of the stuff that they've purchased, my one-to-one clients, my one-off session clients. It doesn't matter where they land. When they lock this down, I get fucking messages every day, every day. And my first answer to them is, of course this happened. Of course it did. You commanded this into the field. Now, when we think about an unhinged energy, most of us are shit scared to fucking do this because we're still layered with stuff. Like even one of my clients who's listening to this live, she may even want to say, this is the hell yes, this is happening. She may even want to say on here to the fact that this morning she dropped into fucking doubt about the things that she wants to actually have happen. And guess what I did? I fucking moved her back into the space and I said, get your ass on this live call that I'm teaching in an hour because this has to get into your fucking field for you to remember who the fuck you are. And it's like, there will be distractions. There will be people coming into our world telling us it can't happen. You go ask your fucking friend down the street who doesn't actually have anything that you want, their opinion on your life. They're going to tell you, you can't do that. They're going to tell you certain things because their belief system and their availability for what they actually truly desire in life, most people are not willing to work for it. All 18 of you here live, or 20 of you that keep popping in, or the 58 of you that have registered for this, or the hundreds of you that are going to watch it later in the landscape of a podcast or in spaces, or who the fuck knows, where this is going to land in your field. Somewhere along the line, the energetic connection of this message came into your field to ask you to consider that this be a truth for you. Not everyone's going to be here. Not everyone wants to lead a life of juicy as fuck energy and pleasure and desire in their way, in their blueprint, and leading life in their potency of what they can create authentically. Not in a way of masquerading, although maybe you want to put on a costume and go to a Halloween party sometimes, amazing. But it's like in a way of pure truth. And for so long on this journey as being humans, we have been layered and layered and layered in untruths in the mechanism. And the unhinged movement in the world is asking you to come back to self and to own the space of who you actually are and to unleash that shit into the world. Because here's what's happening. When someone is lit, so I call this like lighting someone up. So a lot of the work I do is in soul mission activation, right? Is moving all the shit out of your field so you can actually get into the space of where you're meant to lead, how you're supposed to show up, the impact in the world you're meant to make. And through that impact then comes all the wealth, all the money, all the clients, all the mechanisms, all this beautiful, juicy fucking energy in the landscape of things. And that's my work. And my job is to light up the lights. Bing, 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 bing. Whether it's this podcast, whether it's this masterclass, whether you're in one-on-one work, whether you're in programs, whether you join my mastermind, like it doesn't matter where we're connected. I have a job to do, and my job is to light lights. So imagine you now fucking lit up in your field, right? You're lit the fuck up. You wake up in the morning and you're like, fuck yeah, I get to lead here. I get to maneuver this forward. I get to shift lives. I get to change things. Like I watch this happen everywhere. Okay, I walk out of this apartment. So I'm in an apartment building. I walk out with Lily, okay, my dog. Some of you guys may not know her. She's quietly waiting for a walk on the bed, okay? We walk out of this apartment building. Every single gate guy knows me, okay? Every single one. I talk to them every day, even though I botch fucking Spanish all the time, but I'm learning, okay? The guys that run security at the supermarket know who I am because every single day I walk by them. The guys at the construction store that's down the street, because every day Lily and I go for a longer walk by them, they purposefully come out now to say hi to us when we walk by. There's no customers out there. They literally see us and they come out and say hi to us. Okay, I'm not talking about business in this moment. I am talking about lighting your fucking light up in the world and spreading that shit into humanity. But most of us are in conformity, playing around in our own limitations, forgetting that there is an alter timeline playing out. A timeline where you are living, a timeline where you are in potency, a timeline where you live this juicy as fuck life in all the facets, in all the ways. Some of you are in business, some of you are not. It doesn't matter. this energy moves through your power into the center of how you're showing up in the world everywhere, how you are in airplanes, smiling at people. So there's this house. Okay. So we walk this way, we go past the construction stuff, a couple of stores, and there's this house. And there's a golden retriever there. And I watched at the beginning when we first walked by, the golden retriever barked at everybody every single day now. Literally, this is the fucking cutest thing ever. He'll see us walking by and he'll be at the back of his house. He'll run out of the house into the yard to the fence to come say hi to us. And he lets me pet him. Lily and him have like kisses through the freaking gate. The owners of the house know who we are. And it's just like, this is what I'm talking about. I move in my world. Now, granted, we all have off days. I'm not sitting over here going to you, oh my God, you got to be on all the time. I'm not on all the time. My light is always on though, because I've done the work to be able to move through all of these layers that are layered upon me. Now, we're always in work. I'm not saying I'm done. I am moving through other evolutions, like the $1 million year is coming into play. It's requiring me to step up into the true essence of the woman that I am. I'm in my own shit, okay? I'm just in a different place than where some of you guys are, but I have been where you are. And the moment I decided that I was going to lead in who I actually am in the world, the quote that really makes sense in my mind and still today, it's like, be the change you want to see in the world. And it's like, I make waves wherever I go. People remember me. Uber drivers remember me. My massage therapist is like, like her cat. Yesterday, I went there once last week and her cat would literally like jumped up onto me and wouldn't let me go and wouldn't let me like let her go. Like I was like, are you coming in for my massage? Like, is this what we're fucking doing? Which I am totally cool, in the space of that evolution. I'm all in for cats. Okay. Just put it that way. In the space of that. But it's like, this is what we call unhinged. You being your true essence self. Now, when we actually start to look at this and you start to dissect this, where in your life are you not actually being truly who you are? Where are you needing to discover more layers? Where are you not asking for what you want? Where are you not putting up boundaries to release the shit you don't want? Because that is one of the mechanisms of owning our power, is most of us are fucking taking on all this shit. We're doing this stuff because someone else wants us to. We're doing the things because this is transpiring. That person needs this from us, and if we fucking hate to do it, it's like, no. So I hold such a boundary, and trust me, guys, it gets way easier to say no when you keep saying no in the space of this evolution. But there's a woman that keeps coming into my DMs offering me to join all these things that she has, because she and our energies are so off. Okay, like let's just put it that way. And every single time I take a second and I say the exact same message. I am so fully aligned in the work I'm doing with my mentors, my programs, my masterminds that I'm in. A, I don't have space for anything else. And B, this isn't in alignment for me. And I right out of the gate say no. Where some of you guys would probably be like, oh, well, she's got this reputation and she does this and da 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 da. And maybe I should get on a call with her. And maybe I should do this. And it's like you fucking drop yourself into a vibration that isn't who you are to try and conform into the space to people please. No. When we actually start to look at our life and start to see where the disconnections are, or start to see where we're limiting ourselves, we then move up into the space of ownership of our power. And when you think about yourself, and I'll use this word, one of my clients uses this word, it's feral. Okay. And like feral cats out there, I'm like, we're not fucking abiding by any of the rules that someone tells us. Now, some of you, this isn't your MO. Okay. And I'm not going to tell you that in order to be unhinged, you have to be fucking feral. But some of you need to fucking go feral for a bit just to be able to get your shit and out of the stuff that you're fucking in right now. Because right now you're trying to do it in the identity of being nice, of people pleasing, of doing the things. Like right now I'm in this conversation with Airbnb. Okay. So, and it's like, it was all closed up yesterday. And then one of the managers sent me a message, doesn't know any of the shit that was going on for 2 days. And she's like, well, we need to escalate this into this service department. And I was like, you're not listening to me. And I can't voice note on Airbnb's backend chat. And so I'm just like, go and read the fucking notes, like this isn't this like, and I just was like, what the fuck? And I'm just like, some people are like this. And sometimes we've got to bring the energy field in and command in the energetic space. I already know everything's going to be worked out because that's my intention. And Airbnb promised something, so they have to deliver on that promise. It's part of their customer service policy. So I'm just like, do I have to go in and fight this? Okay, sure. I'll go in and fucking fight this, but not in a way of like getting flared up, but in a way of like, no, no, done. There isn't a wavering on this. The host got all of his money. All of this has been released. Everybody else sees what you're not obviously seeing. And no, like, in the space of that. So it's like sometimes we've got to lean in that way into this experience to maneuver this space into this connection. Yeah, see, now the host of the place is just sending me some messages about something. Whatever, I'll go deal with Airbnb in a minute. Once we get off of this, once I'm out of this energetic field in the space of everything in this aspect of self. So when we let this land in the energetic field and we let this move, what do you truly desire to have happen when you lead in your power? It's really kind of fun how shit happens in real time when we're in the middle of doing stuff, right? It's like really like for experiences to teach from, to be able to be in this, to like authentically lead in this energetic field. And so when we actually take a look at where we're conforming, and now we take a look at the essence of who we actually are, what needs to shift in your world now to own this? So if we consider pulling the veil back on unleashed, unhinged, uninhibited energy, what does this mean for you? This means conversations need to happen from old identity patterns. So that might be family members, that might mean putting in new boundaries, that might mean in friendships, that might mean in past relationships, that might mean with Airbnb, that might mean in any aspect of this. So looking at that place, now we look at what are our thought processes that are moving through our world. Are we consistently underneath the shit? Or are we actually now moving through, seeing the old versions of us, seeing the mental game, seeing the spaces that come through in this space of things, seeing the dynamics of how this is maneuvering through in the world, seeing all this transpire in the space of this evolution, seeing all this come to play. And now we're honoring the versions of us, but we're actually now looking at where do we actually truly desire to go? Where do we actually truly desire to lead within, to live within? Okay, because there's parts of us that we need to honor as this landscape moves through. And there's also parts of us that need to come through now in our evolution of choice. Because the conditioning is real. We know that, right? Most of us grew up in environments, with parents, with people, with teachers, with dynamics, with situations happening. Like we witnessed a lot, right? We witnessed a lot. And through that witnessing, we've taken on belief systems, we've taken on energies, right? Like it's going to take you a year to heal, or you have to work hard for money, or you can't speak your truth into the world because, or quiet down, conform. Like I remember, and my mom doesn't remember doing this, and if she actually is watching this at some point in time, it's like it did happen because I remember this. 18 years old, I came out, it was my birthday, and at the time, okay guys, I had pixie short blonde platinum hair with fuchsia pink bangs, okay. And I remember those days. I actually used to do a lot of hair modeling back in the day, and I would just sit in a chair and they would do whatever. Like I had Cruella de Vil hair one year. That was fucking fun. Okay, so I'm wearing fuchsia bright, like they had these like, I guess we'll call them jeans, but they weren't jeans, like they weren't denim. They were a certain type of fabric in the space of everything. And fuchsia pink, and I was wearing a black tank that kind of had an open back. So like back in the 1999, they used to have these really cool tanks that would just have a tie at the back, and they were super sexy in the space of that. And so I go out to the backyard to say to my mom, I'm about to leave. I'm going to meet my friends at the bar. Winnipeg, the legal age of drinking is 18, so it's like game on. So yeah, I'd been drinking before because we used to have house parties and stuff, and some of my friends were 18, or this is crazy, but one of the chicks I used to babysit for used to buy me alcohol when I was like 15 years old. So I would just ask her to buy me beer. And anyway, so I was that kind of girl. Like if you think about it, growing up in Winnipeg, that was kind of what we did. And my mom said to me, well, you're not the prettiest girl in the bunch. That's a quote. And I remember this so potently. And that energy almost shaped a lot of my world through my 20s. Even some of the guys that I chose to kind of be with, it was always like this uphill drive because I had to prove to people my worth. And this was something that just kept getting embedded throughout the years. And I'm sure it started at a young age. But this belief has nothing to do with business, but yet it did, because it's like it wielded itself into all these landscapes of my world, started to play out the storyline of how this was maneuvering forward. And if we actually take a look at this and take a look at how this is landing and take a look at this in your field, the way you are doing life right now has been weaved from some things, positive stuff like in the mechanism, or some shit that you've been under for all this time. And when we think about uninhibited and really moving through unhinged energy, it's about releasing all of that and stepping fully up into the space of who you actually are. And ooh, yeah, I'm burping, which means I'm moving energy for some of you. So some of you are receiving this really potently in your landscape right now, right? You're feeling this vibe right now. So when we breathe into this, and I look back on this journey of my life, it was 2022, and some of you have heard this story, where I actually finally decided that I was all in. And all in then meant something different than now. And, even I look back and I'm like, you thought you were all in, babe, but, it's like, but I was all in at that time based on the energy I knew, based on who I was at the time, based on my own perceptions of the world. I was all in at that time. And I just decided that I would start to play the game. And when I say play the game, I'm not talking about pretend to be anything but myself. I mean, I could start to see how this mechanism was moving through the collective and how I now needed to lead and how all these illusions that needed to be popped needed to go, because there was this fire that was building inside of me that needed to come and be unleashed into the world. And literally I can't even remember what month I taught it. It was like, I remember it was May, because I had gone to my parents' house in Winnipeg. I drove there. And I remember telling my mom that I was about to start to market in a way that owned my sexual edge. Because I'm really edgy. Like I really am. And some of you guys know, in the space of the landscape of knowing me, I have some edge. Like I literally made a post, what was it earlier? I think it was on Monday. And one of the declarations on the post that I would have daily orgasms. Okay. So like I have some edge. Like I speak into things in the space of our evolution. I don't have a filter that's trying to make you think that I'm a certain way. I show up in transparency all the time. Like this is who I am. Like this isn't like if we were having a conversation, some of you guys know me like one-to-one in the space of things, like I'm a straight shooter every single day of the week. And so in 2020, I had made this decision to drop all the guises, to actually lead in this space. And I launched my first masterclass in this energy called Unleashed. And it was about owning your personal power. But also in that masterclass, I started owning my light language, which I never spoke about into the world. That was the masterclass that pivoted my light language into the space. I had been activated for a few years. I didn't tell people about it because I was kind of scared. If you were in one-to-one work with me, you kind of knew, because sometimes I would use it, but I doubted my abilities here. Like I really did. I was like, is this actually true? Is this what's coming in? Like that space that you guys are in too, sometimes in your world, you doubt you can create this. You doubt you can have this life. You doubt people are going to buy the product. You doubt, we doubt, because doubt is a third dimensional mechanism that is floating through the ethers right now, layered on top of all the people in the world that are making massive impact. Because if you're in doubt, you're not in your full potency. Say it again. If you're in doubt, you're not in your full potency. And so I just said, fuck it. I'm going to try it your way, spirit. I'm going to try it in this mechanism. I'm going to see what has to happen, but I'm going to go all fucking in. And it completely changed my life. So running around, my head fucking cut off. I still was in that mechanism, and like obviously having 40 master classes, I'm still in that mechanism because I hadn't done the deep work to get into the depth of worthiness, but it kept showing up. But then I kept moving through some of the energies. Money felt easier to some degree. So it wasn't like I was slugging it out like before, where I would charge clients $350 for the month to work with me, Canadian. And I'd drive to your location and you had full access to me all the time. It was like the prices went up. I was charging $1,000 a month to coach with me. I was moving this through the prices. I started, like, the things started to shift. But it was in this decision that I said, no more conforming. I'm going to step up into the space. In 2023, I flown back to Canada in March, and I met with my ex-boyfriend. So some of you guys know some of the story. I'm gonna keep it tight for this because it's not really relevant, but it kind of is. This prong in the timeline was an expanded prong about unhinged energy. But for our whole relationship, my objective, and I remember this, was what can I do to be the woman he wants me to be? Okay. It wasn't about owning who I truly was, which is actually the essence of what he wanted me to be. It was what can I do to make sure I fit into the box of what he wants? That's literally what my MO was. Consciously, not really, but unconsciously, when I look back and I did the work on it, that was what it was, because I didn't feel worthy to hold a man who made multi-millions of dollars. Like the lifestyle we lived and all the things, like it was like juicy, but he didn't want a woman to be in his world that he had to take care of. Plus, that's not who I am. Like I need my own independence in the space of this and my own wealth, but I also desire to have an alpha male frame come in now into my world because I've done the work on myself to understand my divine feminine flow, that I'm still going to be in mission, but I also desire to have a man come into my space that we get to play. Anyways, that's a whole other thing. And so I'm sitting at his island in his kitchen in March of 2023, and he's yelling at me. Okay. All this sexual edge coming out in my branding, what the fuck is this? You get this photo shoot done, you're doing these things, da 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 da, blah 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 blah. You're this phony fucking person, da da da. Okay, and he's yelling at me. We're not together. We hadn't been together in long. He actually he had a girlfriend at the time, like, and who he'd been with for years. And he's literally yelling at me. And I knew I had done so much work on myself because I literally sat there like this, arm on the fucking chair, listening. And then I kept asking myself this question: is this my truth? Is this my truth? And I kept hearing no. So here's what I did, shit disturber Colleen. What else do you got to say about this? What else do you got to say? What else? Come on, like, what else is in there? Blah, blah. And then he would go, and he'd go for probably like 20 minutes. Okay. And I'm just sitting there. Now, old school Colleen, bawling my face off. Oh my God, you're so right. Like, what can I do to change this? And blah, 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 blah. Like because I would have conformed into the space of what he wanted me to be. But Colleen, in her essence, unhinged, alive in her life, sat there and took it, and then just went, when he was done, I was like, okay, are you done? He's like, I'm done. And I was like, amazing. Here's what I have to say about this. I get that you're looking at me through the vision of who I used to be. I understand that. And you're looking for that girl. And there's still parts of her here. The caring, nurturing girl, the adventurous girl, the laughter girl, the joyous girl, the animal driven girl, the she's still here. However, the version of me that right now you're taking apart is actually the essence of who I am. And I have never been more myself today than ever before in my life. And I understand that we're not on the same pathway any longer, that you cannot hold that energy and see me through that viewpoint, which just tells me that this relationship is done. Like, we cannot be in cohesive relationships any longer. We cannot hold this because you're trying to diminish me back into a box of conformity that's not where I'm fucking playing. And it went on and on for a little while. I walked out of there. That was the last time I ever saw him. I haven't spoken to him in 3 years. And it is what it is because we're both in different pathways. And this is one of the things that I really want you to feel. When you're owning your power, not everyone is coming with you. They're not. But your job is to keep being in your fucking truth and keep aligning this into the space of your evolution. That's your job, right? That's your job. That same year, I fly back home to Winnipeg, and my mom, it's Christmas. It's the 24th of December. We're going to their friend's house for dinner, and there's like 40 people there. And I'm the rebel daughter that lives in Costa Rica, that flew without a mask during COVID, that did all these things. And this is a highlight. So this is important in the landscape of the story. And so my mom has already positioned me in this room as this person. And before we leave, she says to me, can you just like not talk about dragons or your viewpoint on Jesus and all these things? Because I believe Jesus was a man that was just fully activated in his gifts, that fucking walked the world and was there to shine a light onto all of us to tell us that we can activate this inside of us too. Okay. Whether you believe that or not, totally cool. You take what you want from this in the space of that. And I said to her, no. if this comes up, I'm going to speak into it. I'm not going to lead a conversation that I talk to fucking dragons and I channel dragon energy, but I am going, if it comes up, I am going to speak the truth into this. So you decide now whether you want me to go to this dinner or not, because I am never diminishing my light ever fucking again. Well, Noel, obviously I was going to dinner because she had already positioned that I was going to dinner and that I was coming and I was in town and all these people were expecting me. So it meant more to her to honor that, to put me onto the showcase pedestal than it did for me to own my truth. Dragons didn't come up. Okay. Dragons didn't come up. But I did have a conversation about Yeshua and Jesus. And the woman I was talking to said, I believe the exact same thing. I'm like, of course, because that's why we're in conversation. I didn't announce it to the people. You know, we were making old fashions and I was participating in life and I was being a human, but I never diminished myself in this space. As the years move through, I've done a lot of work on myself over the last 3 years being in Costa Rica of understanding who I actually am. And in 2025, when I actually started to lead there, I cleared the field. That's how the 30K month came in. Literally within 1 month of me clearing my energy and refining who I was and leading in the pureness of my brand, that all shifted and changed. So I diminished some stuff. Some of you were in my world in 2025, you know, I pull some stuff out. You know, I released the membership that I had at the end of 2025, moving into 2026. I peeled back all the layers of the brand and I looked at it to be like, what do I actually fucking want to do? What is coming through me so powerfully? Not what I can do, because I can do fucking a lot of things, but what do I desire to do? And I even watch sometimes in the mechanism where I get a hit and I'll put the hit out and sometimes the hit will go, but it won't be as potent. And I go, oh yeah, that's an old version hit, you know, in the space of some of that. So when I actually decided in January of 2025 that I was going to play ball, okay, this is the next level decision after I had to go through all the other shit over the years, keep stepping up, keep edifying the things, keep moving it through, keep doing the work, right? Keep seeing the layers, keep maneuvering, being in the essence, leading from my heart, being in soul mission, activating the fuck out of shit, moving it through. At the early parts of 2025, everything changed because I finally decided that I was no longer conforming to anything. Okay. It was always a no. It was a yes, but like even one of my guy friends the other day said something to me and I was like, no, no, I'm good. I'm good. Like you go do your thing. You go maneuver that forward. Like it's easy for me to stay in my lane way. And now what's transpiring is it's like it's all weaving together. So this year, some of you guys are in some stuff of mine and may have heard me say that by 2027, everything is going to look different. So I am no longer launching a program bundle that I've done for 4 years in 2027. It won't be here. So those of you guys that are in it in 2026, this is the last time I'm going to launch this. I won't be doing bundles in a certain way, the way I've done them live this year. Like some of you guys are in my birthday bundle, you're in my, you know, masterclass bundle and all that. This is the last space. What's coming through me is this co-creation of this mastermind, which I'm going to talk a little bit about today, a little bit, because the details are still being almost refined. But when you join into that, you get everything that I launch live. And it's one of those like bonuses that come through. And when I feel into this in who I am as a leader, I'm like, that feels juicy. So there is no minimums, there is no maximums in it. There's no putting me in a box that says I have to do something. This year still feels aligned with everything I've committed into, which is amazing. But I already know the unleashed true version moving into 2027 of the brand won't want to have those in her space. So it's like whatever I launch live, the mastermind gets, and I might offer it out into the world as well, into the space of that evolution, whatever feels juicy as fuck, and people can say yes or no to that in the space of this evolution. And this has taken me some space to actually peel off the layers of how I desire to lead. Where do I want to put my energy? Where do I want to put my time? Where do I want to lead in this space? And what activates the fuck out of me? So when I was actually co-creating this landing page on Tuesday with Divine and the universe, I got so turned on by this landing page that I was like, this is where I want to play. This is the fucking offer. This is the space. Now, Do I want to teach my Akashic codes next week? Yes, because there's so much fucking value in that for the people coming into it. Do I desire to lead the circle in July that I've committed to? Yes. Do I desire to move this through in this collect? Yes, I do. But I have never had anything activate the fuck out of me like this mastermind. And when I was talking to my coach last night, he said, "You got a business boner." And I was like, because I said to him, because he's married and shit, right? So I'm trying to keep a boundary in here, not to be like the whole fucking rebellion edged fucking client that he has. But I just said, it like turned me on. And like, not in a way of like sexually turned me on, although I am sure that I could have maneuvered some shit through that if I wanted to, but more so like, holy fuck. And I want you to land in this for a moment. Where is your holy fuck in your world right now? Do you have one? Do you have an outlet? Some of you play music, and when you're in that fucking vibe, you're there. Some of you go into deep meditative states, and when you're in that vibe, you're there. Some of you are in the space of giving, and when you go to that rescue, you're there, right? Where is the holy fuck? And my mission is to activate the holy fuck in people. Is that when they land in their life they're meant to live, and they're aligned in their soul mission, and they're in their fucking power, and they're dismantling all the bullshit that's been conformed from relationships, from parents, from all the shit that we've taken on, that they wake up in the morning and they go, holy fuck. Holy fuck. You know, this is controversial energy I'm about to place into your field, but I want to work with people that desire fuck you money. And I'm not talking about in the field of being selfish. I'm talking about money in the hands of good people does good things in the world. And when you be the human that can hold fuck you money, shit happens in life. Because if you're like me, when you have fuck you money, you're not just hoarding it. Sure, you have investments, you've got shit, you've got stuff locked down, you got the property you want, you're doing the things materialistically, but you're giving that into the world. Like you're servicing people. Like for me, I just want to fucking hand out $100 bills everywhere. Like I'm like, man, you know, like that Facebook guy, MD Motivator, I think that's his name, where he like pretends to kind of be homeless and not have shoes and shit, and then he gives all these gifts to people. Like, I want to go on a fucking thing like that, or just go and put like $100 bills into baby diapers, or like, you know, do some random shit like that, like where you buy everybody in the fucking restaurant their lunch and you walk out and nobody fucking knows who did it. Like, I just want to be that girl, you know? Like, I want to play in life. I want to lead in that energy, but I need fuck you money to do that. And from the fuck you money is mission. That means if I have fuck you money, there's so many, all of you guys out there in the world illuminated, that I am like, I'm in this landscape of service. And it's not coming from this greedy fucking place like a lot of the mechanisms of wealth are holding now. It's coming from a rooted energy of your essence of who you are. And when you feel into, like, I had to work on holding the landscape of saying fuck you money, because my programming said that's not what good girls say. That's not the right energy to play within. That's not, but it's like, fuck that bullshit. What do you actually desire? What do you desire? Some of you have heard me say this before. If it's in you, it's for you. If it is a dream in you and it is activated in you, the only resistance happening in your field right now is you for making it come to life. You're the culprit. You're the one. You're the one blocking it from actually expanding and opening and coming to life. You are. You. And when you let that drop into your field, be like, fuck, it is me. It is you. It is you. It is you. Okay. So now how do I move this through? Now it's about literally peeling off all these layers, stepping behind the mechanism of what you desire, leading your life in the version of you that is truly in your essence, and actually being in your world instead of being under your world. And when you feel this word unhinged into your space, it's like, that is what I'm calling you up and into. I'm burping a lot, which means I'm moving a lot of energy. Some of you are like, this is landing. And you're like, fuck. And if you think about this life and living an unhinged life, which means you are in your sovereignty, you are dictating your world. You're the one co-creating with the universal systems to move this forward. And then, yeah, the action comes into play. We have to have a certain strategy. We have to show up for things. We have to ask for what we want. We have to dismantle the field of certain things. It's like, but most of us are still playing under old timelines because we haven't understood the fact that these chains on our wrists can be busted in real time right now if we decide that. So, a couple of the key elements that I want to bring forward into your space today, and for you to question yourself as you move out of this masterclass today, because I could probably be here for hours with you talking me through this, but some of you guys got shit to do, you know, some of you guys got work, you got stuff to create. I technically should be doing some things today, you know. Apparently I need to call Airbnb and freaking figure out why they're putting an appeal through that I didn't authorize. You know, I gotta go do some stuff in my unhinged energy to just wrap down some things in the space of this. So I want to ask you these questions. Where in your life right now are you in your conformity, playing by someone else's rules? And when are you going to change that? And what needs to happen for it to change? Okay. You all know this already. You do. Or you've looked at it and not really looked at it and put it under the rug and said, maybe I'll deal with that later. No. This is the time and the moment that this needs to transpire and happen. Next question I have for you is when you envision and closing your eyes, if you're not driving and stuff and you want to just land here with me, please feel free to do it. But this is like activities after this. It's like when you envision the life that you want to live, how are you being in that life? Do you just say yes to everything? Do you keep relationships around because you've known them for 16 years and, well, you know, we went to high school together, you know, all the fucking excuses we make? Do you still go to Sunday dinners even though your fucking parents drain your fucking energy every goddamn week and it takes you till Wednesday to get recalibrated? Are you still letting your kids walk all over you? You know, are you still sacrificing yourself in business and taking on clients that are not aligned? Are you still in scarcity and lack with money? Are you still underneath this invisibility cloak and not showing up and making all these excuses and botching and self-sabotaging your momentum? I don't know, what's the question for yourself? When you are in living the life you truly desire to live, in the reality of where you play now, is there something that changes? And if you've closed your eyes, you can just come back into the space. But I want to land this for you right now, is that you have all the power. You do. And when you make a choice and you step behind that choice, and that's the choice, it is unfucking wavering. It will happen. The challenge is that we get into distractions and we talk to our friends who aren't in the same fucking vibration. We're listening to bullshit that keeps coming through our field. We're not taking the action necessary and needed to make it happen. And we're maneuvering this through. And we are saying yes to diminishment and yes to conformity and yes to the fucking vibrations over here every time. You know what you need to do. Some of you guys need to quit some things. Some of you guys need to change some habits. Some of you guys need to change your circles. Some of you guys need to fucking just action. You already know what needs to happen, but you've been delayed and delayed and keep thinking about the delay and keep thinking about the delay and then not believing about the delay. And I can go on and on. I know because I've been here. Okay. I can call it. I've been here and I've watched so many other people do it. My job in the world is to go like right in the dart, like in the center of the dartboard to just like nail it right there for you. And sometimes it's easy to be around me and sometimes it's not, because when I fucking nail it, it fucking hurts some days. And I am so grateful for the people in my life that had courage back in the day to nail that for me, even though at the time I would argue the fuck with you. But years later, as I look back, I go, they were right. They were right. I have created all of this. I have created this Airbnb situation too. But now I'm going to go uncreate this Airbnb situation. So I want to offer something out to you. In 24 hours time, the details of my mastermind are coming out. Got a couple of things I'm just finalizing right now. There's a shit ton of bonuses and I am wavering on what other program I want to add in and a couple of the things. But some of you might be really connected to this space. It's called the Unhinged Mastermind. It is everything I've talked about, including strategy, business alignment, life alignment, activating power, identity. It's fucking all of it, energetic stuff. And it's 12-month commitment. It's rolling, which means after 12 months, you can say yes to staying in it or no to not being in it again. And you can do your thing in the space of that. But there's some people in here that I know that are ready to take this on. I already know, I can feel it. Like there's a few of you that when I feel into this, it's like coming into my world and hanging out with me for 12 months will change your fucking life. Some of you are in one-to-one spaces and this will actually be cohesive working with it because part of the mastermind agenda, let's just call it, is creating a community and a network of fucking badass people living unhinged lives. And there's actually a space in the Telegram portal I'm creating that is for masterminding, that is for cohesive connections and networking together. Like, I actually don't want this to just be about me. I want it to be about the community growing as a whole. And yes, it's weekly calls. I'm going to lead. We have juicy as fuck shit. It is fucking everything. And like I said, anything live I teach in 12 months, you guys get access to it automatically because it's a mastermind. So what I'm actually doing is for those of you that want information on it, I have what I call a VIP link that you can put your name and email down, no commitments. When I launch the information in 24 hours, actually from the time I started, so in 23 hours, you will have a 24-hour gap to say yes or to deny it, which is premium pricing. The pricing goes away after that, then it goes live to the public. And I am on the hunt for my first 10 people within the next couple of weeks. It starts immediately. We start to move through some stuff. All the things are juicy. So I'm going to land the link. I don't even know if I can put it into the chat here, but I'm going to try. I'm going to land the link into the chat. And if this is for you, like I feel like there's one or two of you that already know you want to be in this, no matter what the fucking details are. Send me a DM and we can move through some of this conversation in advance. But for some of you that like, I'm curious, I want to see what this is. I want to see, what the price points are, what the commitment is, what do you ask, like all of that. I'm going to say to you, go to this landing page and just put your name down. And you will get an email in 24 hours that gives you all the details. And then you have 24 hours from there to say yes or to deny it. So there's no commitments, no nothing. But here's what I know. Is as I've been doing this work and as I've been moving through, so being an entrepreneur for 17 fucking years, right? Being in this landscape of energy, being in this flow and watching the versions of me maneuver through this and watching myself co-create with the universal plane and watching myself maneuver through life, I've got assets. And some of you are in my one-to-one world and like just hanging out with me and being in the space with me has fucking changed your world. Now imagine being in a space that I have co-created with the universal system, let's just call it, and I've co-created with all of these fucking badasses in the space of evolution and all of us coming together in potency for 12 months. And yeah, it's a big, long commitment for a reason because there's power in this. Life is going to shift. So I want to call forth, like I'm going to send the replay out and I actually am going to put the link on the replay because I don't think I can get it into here while this is on. I just tried to like post it somewhere and I don't think it's fucking working. So I'm going to throw it in the group. For those of you guys here live, it'll go on the replay. Just put your name and number down on it, name and email down on it. So you get it. And then you can assess, is this for me? You can decide, is this my truth? Is this where I want to play? Is this my up leveling? Is this the bold move I need to make in order to land the things in my world? And for some of you, that might be a stretch. But here's what I know is that when I invest in myself every single fucking time, it pays off tenfold. Like I am watching my life shift and change by the people I'm hanging out with and the mentors I'm investing in because they have where I desire to be. I'm moving into 100K months. You're going to watch this happen really fast over the next couple of months for me. It's like, do you want to be alongside a mentor that's leading that way, that has all the business strategy, has all the expansion energy, that teaches identity, that leads in energetics? This whole fucking portal is all of it. So some of you are ready, like you're just like, fuck, I want to know more. Just send me a DM if you're there. If you want and you're inquisitive and you want the details when it launches, just fill out the form and we're going to move from that space. I want to open up the floor for some questions. I'm going to go through this chat real quick and just comment to see if anything's come through. Huge storm with tornadoes. Yeah, radical ownership. But any of you guys want me to riff off on something? Is there something coming up in the field for you guys right now? Mother wound that I can serve you with.
No insert. You sure? Cool. Yeah, I just want to kind of land that as I try to figure out too how to freaking get this link to you guys. I don't know how to do that from my like, oh, here we go. Yay. Okay, something just happened. There we go. Okay, there it is. Yay. Okay, so I got the link. I wonder if the link is going to come up on here. I got it in the back end. See if it fucking works. Anyways, what do we got going on? What do you guys got to say? Where are we at with certain things? How is this maneuvering? I'm going to pin that. Oh, yeah. There we go. Yay, it worked. So you guys can just click on it. There's no commitments at all in the space of this is information. All right. I love that you guys have been here live with me. I love that things are maneuvering in this landscape. Guys, no matter what we're going through individually, as a collective, I just want to remind you that you have the ability to change your life at any given moment. You have the ability to decide how you want to show up in the world, what you desire to move within, how you desire to lead. You do. And no matter what the circumstances are right now, you can choose to change. You can choose to shift. I have a client I'm working with right now that 6 months ago, she had a negative dollar balance in her bank account. Last week, when we got on a call, she had 40K in her bank account and was receiving another $40,000 of checks within a few days. So I want you to feel this in your field that anything can fucking happen. When you step up and lead in the energy of your true essence and you command that field and you step behind it and you fucking move, anything can happen, but you've got to do the work to maneuver it forward. You've got to decide that you are the person that does this, that you're the person that leads, that you're the person that moves us through, that this is the life you want. And no matter what the outer circumstances tell you, you can dictate how this outcome comes to play. And the challenge is we give all our power away to other things, to the governmental systems, to Airbnb. We give our power away to in our relationships, to our bosses, to fucking Facebook, like we give our power away. Living an unhinged life means you've taken it back and activated it in you, and you are ready to fucking go. So I feel complete.